Hi, it's Mark Blieske again. I'm going to go through the procedure of actually starting the whole thing about making a paddle. You have to have patterns, you have to have a design, you have to have an idea as to how to go. And before you even do that, you need to know the size of the paddle that you want to make. There's all sorts of things that have to come into play here. But let's just sort of back the train up a bit here. If you look on the floor here, you'll see about 50 or so patterns that I've made with my 52 paddles that I made. You'll see over there I have patterns that I've actually drawn out. So I've created a pattern that is going to be the paddle itself. So I have a design, I know where I'm going, I know what I want it to look like. I'm not just going willy-nilly. I'm not just going off the top of my head. I could probably do that, but in order to make a paddle that's going to look good, you have to have some kind of a plan. I always tell my students, have a plan, have an order of operations, know the direction that you're going, and follow those orders. Follow that order of operations so you can get the job done. Now to size a paddle, this paddle is obviously already done. To size this paddle up, what I would do is I hold my hands above my head like so, and the distance from this grip at the throat to the grip over here like this is the distance that this paddle is going to be, or the size the paddle is going to be. I'll make a nice relaxed rectangle here, and that is the size of the shaft that I want to make. This paddle is probably about 1 inch too short for me. It should be out here right about there in order to feel comfortable, right? So that's how you size up the paddle. The size of the blade doesn't matter all that much. It depends on what kind of blade you want. If you want a stubby short blade that's fat, that's fine. If you want a long blade like I have here, or even longer, you can do that as well. So a lot of people say, oh, the paddle's got to come under your chin or something like that. No, it's all in this size here, because when you're paddling and you're paddling along, you want your thumb just to go by your nose as you're paddling like this. For a relaxed paddle during the course of the day, you want it to go past your bridge of your nose like that. If you're going way up here, that's fine if you want to paddle really fast and hard, but if you're doing a nice stroke that's going to be all day long, it's going to look like this, and it's just going to go past your face like that, and that's why you want that distance. If the paddle's too long, it's not going to work. If it's too short, it's not going to work. That is the optimum distance. Blade doesn't matter, it's just what you prefer for a blade itself. So you choose your pattern. You notice I also have patterns for different types of grips. You have to decide what kind of grip you want as well. And once you've decided all that, which I have over here, then you have to get your wood. I have a piece of walnut here, and what I want to do is I'm using an otter tail pattern. This one's a little narrower because I'm actually going to put a edge piece onto this blade as well, sort of like a scale on the edge of the blade. And then I have, this is it's a story stick. It is a shaft pattern. I use this for all of the paddles that I make. You'll also have lines made on here. These are for different customers and for myself as far as the size the paddle is going to be. So I get a stick and I now know where the shaft is going to be, so I have that marked on there. Once I have that down, I make sure, oh, by the way, this is 1 3/16 inch wide, and it's made out of bolted birch, which is a really nice stable piece of material. 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch is all you need as far as the material is concerned. Don't use a piece of hardwood or anything of that nature. Make sure you use some kind of wood that's not going to expand or contract or warp on you, that's going to stay reasonably straight. Then you put that onto your blade like so, the blade pattern. Then you bring your grip pattern and you put that in here like so as well. Decide how long your shaft is going to be, and then you line it all up. I line it up, there's a line on the actual pattern. I line that up with the center there, line it up with the center here, and then decide how long that's going to be. Once you have that done, then you slide that under there as well, line that all up, and then you check to see that everything's in line. Then you would trace it out. Before you even do that, it's a really good idea to look at the wood, that the wood is reasonably straight. It can have a little bit of a wow to it because we can take that out with our planing afterwards, but it should be reasonably straight so you don't have to do a lot of work later on. So now we have a blade drawn on there, a shaft drawn on, a grip drawn onto the wood. The next step would be to cut it out, and that will be in the next session that we're going to be doing down the line. See you then.